And welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about some community college students in California who are finally getting a break. My guest this segment is Marty Block, a member of the State Senate, also chair of the Senate Budget Subcommittee on Education. Thanks very much for being with us.
Great to be here, Steve.
And I know you were with us once before and you talked about this one issue, and I know it's important to you. There have been so many cuts, devastating cuts over the last few years to a lot of people, but especially to those who are disadvantaged and disabled who attend community colleges.
Yeah, when the governor's budget proposal first came to us last spring, it included, for the first time in years, some significant increases to education, and we were very happy to see that. But there were certain groups that seemed to be excluded from the restoration of programs. Two of the programs, very important to me, that were not restored in the governor's original budget were programs for disabled students and programs for disadvantaged students, low-income and English learner students. So my committee proposed to the governor that we need to fund these programs. These programs had been cut by about 40% over the last 4 or 5 years, whereas most programs experienced about a 12% cut. So we took a hard line on this. The governor and his folks ultimately agreed that these programs were worth saving. And I'm happy to report that we've been able to give about $30 million to these programs.
That's just a partial restoration of the cuts over the last. So where's that money going to go? I mean, how are these students going to use these funds?
Well, first, the kind of students these are, students with disabilities are often veterans coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan with physical injuries, with brain injuries. These funds can be used to get tutors for these students if they have physical injuries. It can help them compensate if they have vision problems, hearing problems. All sorts of technology is available to help students with disabilities, and individual tutors are available to help students, but both the technology and the individuals cost money. So these dollars will go to help them, pay for them.
And obviously we're looking at an infusion of funds in our state budget for the next few years because of Prop 30, but those are temporary taxes, and so you have, I mean, it's almost like on a year-by-year basis, you know, how you put money back into the community colleges.
Yeah, that's why I felt it was important that we start building now for those two groups of students, and hopefully we'll continue the process of restoring funds over the next several years.
I want to ask you about another one of your bills that deals with student trustees in the CSU system, and I guess there's it's almost like built-in barriers, and you're trying to sort of create some incentives to get more students involved.
Yeah, I worked for 26 years in the CSU system. I was a dean and a professor at San Diego State University, and some of our best student leaders hope to become student trustees. Really, that's the highest position of student leadership in the system. But many of them had to work and couldn't afford to take time away from work to be trustees. What my bill does is it waives tuition and fees for students who serve as trustees. So if there's a work conflict, it's not the same kind of problem, and it lets the best and brightest become trustees and gain that service experience. And frankly, the system benefits from having those students as trustees.
It's quite an incentive, and it's also sort of, that's what UC does right now. Right. Well, we're almost out of time, but we should say that this legislation has been moving so quickly through the legislature that it's on consent, right? Which means it has no opposition.
Yeah, nobody's opposed to it. It'll go to the governor's desk, and we assume the governor will sign it. We have not heard any objections from him.
All right. Well, Senator Marty Block, thanks very much talking about these two education issues. Thanks for bringing them to us, and best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, Steve. Always great to be here.
And thanks to our viewers also for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. You can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government on Demand. I'm Steve Swatt. Have a great day.